Cakes just remembered this game off the top of his head.
I did.
You tortured the Washington Redskins at the time for 15 catches with – how many catches did you have in the first half of that game?
It was a dozen, I believe.
I think it was 12, yeah.
Super annoying.
Do you remember that game?
Yeah, I actually I let the game off with a catch in the flat. I got hit, fumbled. They picked it up and scored, so I had to kind of get myself out of a hole from there, get myself out of the doghouse for the coach. But, yeah, man, I think we ended up winning that game late by a few points. I think me and D'Angelo Hall tried to rip each other's heads off that game, but that was a fun one.
Yeah, I love that. So can you talk about why you were so successful that particular day? Was it just like zone coverages that you were taking advantage of, or was D. Hall trying to check you and you had his number that day? What do you remember?
No, man, he was an awesome player. He brought so much fire out of anybody he played against just because,
right.
You know, he was technically sound. He'd let you know about it too. So I ended up running into him a couple years ago in Atlanta for the Super Bowl. We just we haven't talked to each other, but we gave each other a big hug and you know, we're reminiscing a little bit. It was a lot of fun, man. But yeah, dude, that game I don't really remember what kind of coverage they were playing, but
it didn't matter. You were killing it. You were killing it. Hey, before we talk about the game, Danny, I wanted to ask you about Bradford, Matt Stafford. So you played with a lot of guys. I mean, you played with Romo. Just kind of looking at your career. You played. I don't know. Were you with McNabb? Maybe not. You were with Bradford.
He may have played with Bradford too, because he was in St. Louis for a while.
He definitely was with Sam Bradford.
Yep.
Obviously Brady.
One time I was in Philly. We had 4 quarterbacks at the time. I think it was. It might have been 5. It was an odd setting because we had so many, and I remember Philly local news did a report on it, but it was Donovan, Mike Vick, AJ Feely, Kevin Cobb, and then Matt Garcia. So that was all in one practice.
Wow. So where do you put Stafford up against all the guys you play with, just in arm talent?
I mean, he's top of the list. I mean, I put him in the top 3. Top 2, just with the guys I played with. I mean, I'm thoroughly impressed with not only his arm, his mobility. I love his the way he prepares, the way he gets ready for a game. He's up there with the best of the best, and you know, I'm excited to see what he does this year. He's a great opportunity. Obviously, going to work with McVay and those guys out there. Got a great team, and he's going to do a lot for their team.
Did you know during the season that he was just going to be?
You know, once the head coach gets fired and the GM gets fired, you kind of understand you're in a rebuilding mode at that point. And I don't think he or his family kind of wanted to withstand another rebuild. So, right. You know, that's why he did it. He had a great relationship with Sheila Hemp Ford, the owner, and Martha and Rod Wood, chairman. So, you know, he did a lot for that organization. They respected him. They respect, you know, his talent, and they wanted to get him in the right place, knowing he doesn't have so much time left. He's got probably 4 or 5 left. So, you know, what an opportunity for him. I put him with the top 2 in my book of talented quarterbacks.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're an unrestricted free agent, though, correct?
Yeah, he's going to get paid again.
So what's good? What are you thinking? What are you thinking about next year?
Honestly, I'm so invested in this first part of this offseason that I haven't even really begun to think about football next year. I've just been chilling, man, kind of taking my mind off of the COVID year. It was a tough one, but you know, I'm in great shape, man. My knees feel great. My body feels good. I feel better than I did 5 years ago, which is kind of strange, but I think I just been able to kind of adapt my training, adapt my workouts to you know, my age and getting older, and then you know, I feel like I can definitely play another year. So once free agency comes around, I'll definitely analyze all the you know, if there's any opportunities on the table, and go from there.
Do you
Talking
feel
to
like
Danny Amendola, who has almost 600 catches in his career, two-time Super Bowl champ. I wanted to ask you about your years there with Brady. I watched the Tom versus Time special and saw you guys hanging out in Montana. What was that like? Was it a ton of fun? From what we could see and what they showed on that special, you obviously trained, but then you guys look like you have a ball.
Yeah, man, it's awesome out there. We go to a place called Yellowstone Club, which I've got to know, a lot of people there, and it's an amazing place. Have y'all ever heard of Yellowstone Club before?
No.
I've heard of Yellowstone Park.
That's about it.
Yeah,
yeah, there's a
That's
Kevin
about-
Costner show that
Yeah, the
people
Kevin
like.
Costner show. That's right. Yeah.
it's very similar, but they have Tom is and a lot of guys are club members to Yellowstone Club, but it's basically
Here's the problem: we're not super rich, Danny. We don't have Tom Brady money.
oh yeah, no, me neither, Ben. So I get out there and it's it's like an adult playground. They have golf courses, they have downhill mountain biking, horseback riding, they have all these different zip lines and courses and great restaurants. But they have ATVs, and so we would get out there, get our work done in the morning early, and then we'd go back to shower, work out, and then we'd be done by noon, and then the rest of the day would just be
Playing around.
We'd get on the ATVs. Me and Julian stay out there, actually, and Brady had to leave, but we told Brady we're going to stay an extra day and rip these ATVs around. And that was where it was at, because it was kind of like we had no our boss wasn't with us, so to speak, so we rip the shirt off, go off the trails, and one of the workers of Yellowstone Club pulled us over on his truck and was like, "Hey, you guys okay, man? You guys are, riding a little reckless with these ATVs," and we're like, "No, man, we're good. This is what we do." So, it's a lot of fun out there, dude. It's hard work because we get it in the morning and get our session in, and then the rest of the day is just turns into a series of X Games. So it's
Dude,
really
I'm looking at the website. It looks
Oh,
ridiculous.
it's unbelievable. Is it no women? Like, are there no wives, no girlfriends allowed? Is it just all boys?
Well, yeah,
Don't get
basically,
crazy.
yeah. So I got a funny story, actually. It was July. It was like the beginning of July 1st, and I was in Providence, Rhode Island. I rented a yacht for all my friends, and for the 4th of July. So we had this yacht set up for the 4th of July, and then it was like the 3rd of July, and I was getting ready to get my bathing suit, my towels, like the food situation all ready for the yacht. And then Tom calls me on the 3rd and says, "Hey, get your ass out here to Yellowstone Club." So So I was running routes the 4th of July at Yellowstone Club in the morning, and I was getting picture texts from my friends on the yacht that I rented that I wasn't even on. And
You were trying to be Lil Yachty, and you had to be out there catching passes from Tom Brady.
Exactly.
Oh, you were so bitter. Oh, that's hilarious.
I know, it was. They had a blast, man. They had fun, but I had to get that work in. When the boss calls, when he summons you to Yellowstone Club,
yeah.
you got to get there.
Do any of
how
your boys
much-
pitch in, by the way? Do any of the guys,
Oh, no.
the boys, pitch in at all for the yacht?
I don't think so, man. It was. I took a little bit of an L, but I think we won the Super Bowl that year. So
What does
Right.
a yacht rental go for, by the way? You don't have to go your specific price, but
Like
if you
a
wanna
general price.
rent a yacht for a weekend, what does that set you back?
we
50K?
had it for it. I think we had it for we had it for half a day on the 4th of July. It wasn't a Miami yacht, what you think of. It was kind of like a northeastern yacht, but it really wasn't too much.
Right.
More than we got.
You won't get specific.
Yeah, that's fine.
It wasn't
Okay.
too much.
All right, so Sunday. First of all, you're going to watch the game. You're not playing in it, so obviously you played in a few of them and you got 2 rings. But are you going to watch Kansas City and Tampa? You got to lean on the game.
Yeah, I always usually watch it. I'll be at the house chilling, but I mean, in terms of the game, it's 2 good teams. Obviously a lot of speed with the Chiefs. Tyreek Hill is amazing. He had a big game against them last time they played.
Yeah.
I
You think
mean, in my
13 catches
mind,
is a big game?
I mean, I think he had over 200 yards. I mean, in
First
my
quarter,
mind, it's just in my mind, it's just going to be an offensive. I think. I mean, I never really truly know, but I think it's going to be an offensive showdown.
Yeah.
I mean, I just see so much speed at the receiver, at the tight end position with good backs and good quarterbacks. They're ready to go and let it fly. So I think they're going to score a lot of points. I feel like. I feel like the team with the ball at the end is gonna win.
Why do you think in your wins in the Super Bowl, you guys got off to slow starts in New England? Because it's a crazy stat that in 9 Super Bowls, Brady and the Patriots have only amassed 3 points.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. Good, they're playing good D. We made some mistakes early, and then. Maybe it takes some time to settle the nerves down for everybody to start playing good football. It usually hits me right around the end of the first, second, and beginning of the second quarter to kind of settle your nerves down and realize it's just another game, and then you start moving well from there, start getting comfortable. So, I don't know what's going to happen this week, but I know they got a lot of speed, they got a lot of athleticism on the field, so it's going to be fun to watch.
Hey, we see Tom, he's sort of notorious for, grilling his teammates. Brady, grilling his teammates on the sideline, when he gets pissed off. Yeah, any player, I know coaches do, any player ever just say, hey, F you, and just give it right back to him? Or is Tom on such a level that nobody dares?
Not that he's trying to be, mean about it on the sideline. I think anything that he says really has, value and worth to it. It's usually because something, he's right most of the time. Put it that way.
Right. Right. So
And
you ever
kinda
fight back with him
understand
though? Just being
No,
a guy,
man.
just fight back.
No, because he's right, and it's like whatever he's been and seen it all. So it's like it's cool. What's cool about Tom is he has such great vision. He can, on a run play, he can tell what disguises they're doing in the back end of coverage and kind of assess and take mental notes. That way, once we get a pass play, he can kind of have a good idea going into it, and then he sees it all. Man, he has great vision of the field. So.
Hey, I think you have a huge fan here in the Northern Virginia area. I think he's on hold right now. Can we go to this biggest fan?
You're on too?
Oh, is this the Nubs, Glennon?
The Nubs Glennon.
Hey, Mr. Glennon, how you doing, man?
Hey, this is Stan Gleason, long-time Danny Amendola fan club leader.
Stan.
Danny, I have a question for you. You've played with some outstanding quarterbacks, Tony Romo, Donovan McNabb, Sam Bradford, Matt Stafford, and the GOAT Tom Brady. What is the greatest pass that you ever saw thrown in your entire life?
Fix is in here.
The greatest pass
Yep.
would have to say at Sean's wedding. We were in the hotel lobby on the 26th floor, and it was one of those hotels where it's like real hollow and high, so you could kind of see from the one side to the other. And Sean brought his football, and I said, Sean, I bet you can't throw the football all the way across this hotel from floor to floor, 26 floors high. Next thing I know, we're about 13 beers deep. He gets over there and he slouches down because he's so tall. Otherwise, it would have hit the roof. But he dices it across the hotel right into my hand. I think I actually dropped it, but it was.
Of course, you were hammered.
It was by far the second best throw I've ever seen. The first being our other best friend, David Macias, who came in right after Sean and threw it, but he threw a perfect spiral, which was pretty.
Well, there's your number one arm talent right there. It's not Stafford, it's Sean Glennon.
What's the relationship? Because you're a Texas guy, and you went to Texas Tech. Glennon, of course, goes to Virginia Tech. Where did you overlap and meet?
Sean and I grew up in the Woodlands, Texas for a long time. We grew up, as kids, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then he got scared and left. And then we put a lot of good training in. We were dreaming as kids. We were riding bikes around, throwing footballs. It was awesome.
Well, I'll tell you this. Sean and I are going to come down there. I don't know if it's going to be this summer, but we're going to come down there to the Woodlands or wherever you're living. We're going to play some golf on your dime. All right, so be prepared for that. Be prepared for
He
that.
paid for yachts. You think he can't spring for a round of golf?
Oh,
Of
I
course
know he
will.
can. I know he can. I'll take him out to a nice dinner, but he gets the golf.
I do have one big grievance, Danny. This is the first time I'm hearing about this yacht story. My invitation must have got lost in the mail or something, man.
I know. Yeah, I believe I was forced, and I was dragged against my will to get on this yacht. I didn't even get on the yacht, so...
That's right, he was catching passes.
Jason,
All
you'll
right,
appreciate this. Danny and I used to play one-on-one basketball pretty much every day growing up, and I attribute my ability to, take one in the lane to him. If he was down, if we were playing 11 and he was down 10-7, it would take 20 minutes for me to score the 11th point because I better hit a 30-footer because he would foul me.
I would save all my fouls
every
at the end of the game.
There would be 18 fouls before I was able to get that 11th point.
Yeah, but you had a height advantage, right?
Yeah, he backed him down.
Not at the time.
Yeah, and you were actually good at basketball. I suck. I was at an extreme disadvantage.